So, you have a computer from the last 7 years or so, and, well, don't know what to play on it. Well, you've come to the right place, as I have way too many games in my Steam library and might as well do something with them.
Just before we get into the games, I need to clarify I'm running these games on my MacBook 2015 on battery power for the most part, and I had a few tabs in the background. I could have closed them, but it did give the games less power to work with. For the best experience, run them on Windows as macOS and even Linux. Still don't provide a better experience for most games, and obviously your mileage may vary depending on your hardware, but as long as your machine can run Windows 10, it should be able to run these games decently.
So without further ado, here's 5 games that, in my experience at least, will run on basically anything modern-ish. On to the first game, Battlefront 2. No, the better one.
Even though it's the oldest game on this list, it still can push PCs to their limits on the highest settings, but here at 1080p I could get a pretty consistent 60 FPS in the outer areas and mostly about 30 FPS when a lot of AI are on screen at once. If you want a better comparison, I made a few videos with this game on various hardware here. It's also a pretty scalable game, even looking good at 600p, at least on my laptop, and a decent amount of graphical options for extra tweaking if you need to.
Burnout Paradise is yet another game that runs really well on most hardware.
Despite this being an open world racer with relatively realistic and detailed graphics, being an optimized port of the 360/PS3 era, it makes sense why. At 900p we're seeing a mostly 60 FPS with some quite noticeable dips to the mid-40s in the congested areas of the city, but more often than not it was at 60. You can drop the resolution lower for a more consistent experience, obviously, but it's still a great game even all these years later, although I've yet to try the remaster. This is the original version on Steam.
With the 3D games out of the way, here's a fantastic party game, Speedrunners.
This was massive online roughly 10 years ago, but even today I still think it holds up really well. Grab 4 controllers and ruin your friendships in real time. I still remember having friends. I tried to set the game at 1600p, but it wouldn't let me for some reason. So at this resolution, we got yet again a solid 60 FPS. I get that it's a 2D game, but games such as Hollow Knight and Celeste can really give older PCs a bad time. An absolute classic and still holds up many years after its release due to its retro art style. Sonic Mania is a mix of classic Sonic games with modern features like widescreen and some other things probably. At 1440p, well, technically it's upscaled to 40p, but yeah. Again, solid 60 FPS. Not only does the game play like a classic Sonic game, but it also runs as well as one too.
I'm adding Undertale and Delta in here and nobody is going to stop me.
Again, at full screen, which is technically still 480p, you get a locked 30 FPS. I'm not sure if there's a mod to unlock the frame rate or anything, but it's locked to 30 by default, so that does make it easier to run at least. If you've never played Undertale before, I have a video here if you're interested.
Overall, some people still believe that you need expensive hardware to play PC games. Well, maybe if you're simulating the universe with Sonic Ether's ray tracing mods for Minecraft, then maybe. But in reality, there's still some really good games, and at reasonable prices, if you're willing to dig a bit. Go watch the videos in the card here or here if you're bored, and take care. See you later.